Hello and welcome back into March 2, the pod presented by Eternal Roofing. You know about Eternal Roofing. You can trust their roofing. Just don't trust us on the Cats. But we're here to talk about them. We're back. Season 3, episode 21. We're going to have a lot of stuff on the Bearkat hoops, including picks on Liberty and Delaware. They've got that coming up this weekend. Plus, lots to talk about on the portal. I'm Cory Hogue, your host, producer, once CatFans.com member who is currently in a different jail, if you will. You can find me on social media at Cory Hogue Sports on most places, CORYHOGUE Sports. And joining me, as always, is the guy we hope had a much better Christmas, the ball knower of the podcast, the man behind sports of SHSU on Twitter and Instagram, COO of the Cat Fund, and a guy with a real job, proud Bearkat himself, Ben Sorrells. Ben, how was your Christmas, man?
It was good. It was good, about as good as it can be, and now we're hitting the ground running in 2026, ready to go.
Oh, we ended 2025 with a biscuit bang, man. Let me tell you, and biscuit's a word I use to not use a different word. So when the season ended, I went into kind of a personal reset. Like, I've been needing to do a reset. I've been bordering on burned out for a while. And so I needed to kind of get away and do some reset. And I'm still going through that in a lot of ways. Although I will say it is nice to have this podcast back and march to the pod. And so, like I think I told you earlier today, I'm going to slowly kind of start back up again. But we're going to start really kind of march to the pod Substack. We'll have a weekly recap coming up.
With a K.
With a K. R-E-K-P, because why not? And we've got the roster wire that Ben has been keeping up with so outstandingly on the Substack page right now. But it's going to have a little more content weekly. We're going to have, it could so much as maybe have thoughts after a basketball game if one of us gets a little whim to write some things up on it. Whatever it is, you're going to see a little bit more coming from us there. So make sure you subscribe to marchtothepod.substack.com. But my Christmas, December the 23rd, I get news that there's a coach leaving from a Lone Star Conference school headed out to FCS. I go through the steps. I get all this done. It's verified. It comes out. Of course, national guys get it first, whatever. I post that that this has happened, that I confirmed it, right? As soon as that post was sent, in my email hit that my email address had been changed. My Twitter was hacked, and I don't have it back yet. I have
still
tried.
In jail.
I am still in jail. I am on. This will be my 7th or 8th attempt. I've been periodically putting them in there, going through the process all the time. I'm just building the case as it goes. My goal is eventually they will, here's what the holdup is. They can't prove that the account was mine.
Your avatar looks nothing like you, obviously.
Nothing at all. I've given them all the email addresses that's been used on the account in the past. They can look at all this information. They have all that. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep going until I get it back. I have Facebook, but you know what? I've kind of been enjoying this little social media moratorium of sorts. And so I will try to get my Twitter back. I'm not quite done with that yet. As far as my own personal Substack page, I have a lot of thoughts about things that have happened across the FCS landscape. We have new cord. Did you know Stephen F. Austin? And I know you guys love to keep up with like Stephen F. Austin, right? Stephen F. Austin, they made it to the playoffs. We know that. They had a good year. Congratulations, right? They now need to find another new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator is at Tarleton.
It's an interesting switch. I saw it.
And by the way, Tarleton's offensive coordinator is at Troy, who is Sam Houston's first opponent next year.
Yeah. Connect the dots. There you go.
Connect all the dots. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, Colby Carthel finally had some consistency in his coaching staff. And now he's got to go find all new coordinators again. I mean, it's a kick in the nuts all the time when you're a lumberjack, I guess.
It is.
Jason Plotkin wants to what I do to Elon. Look, man, as far as I know, I didn't do anything, but you never know. Do I provide cryptocurrency advice? I'm not lucky enough to
Well,
make money on any of that.
you're not on. You haven't been on there as much, but old friend Jason Hooten got hacked as well, and he was posting about some trucks he bought with his Bitcoin winnings.
Yeah,
That was funny.
that's awesome. Well, I will say, if you're on Twitter or X and you get a direct message from me telling me that I'm trying out for some podcast and I need you to help me, don't click it. And if you do click it, change your password, right? Because that's the message being sent out. I have gotten text message upon text message, and I think everyone who has taken the time to send me those to let me know, hey, bro, you got hacked. And I tell them, appreciate it. If you clicked it, change your password or else somebody's going to come and get yours. But I am not. I am trying to pull back, not go out for new podcasts.
Yeah.
That's what makes that one funny. Other than that, Christmas, man, I had a therapy session today, so I got to talk about Christmas a little there. But my family, we were great. We had a good Christmas here, Gabe and Allie and Alicia. It was great to have the family together. Great to see everyone. And now we've turned the page into 2026, getting ready for some more Space Cowboys, Ben.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Space Cow. And we're third, fourth grade this year.
Oh boy.
And you know what they're doing?
What's that?
They're doing pickoffs.
Oh boy. You gonna call Box?
No. Now, look, the last few years I've made some people a little angry at times in the 13, 14, 7th, 8th grade year old division, because when they balk, I yell out balk because it's what it is, and that tends to irritate some people. I will not do that to the 9 and 10, 11-year-olds.
They got a couple of years.
They got some time before we do that. They're not getting called balk. They're getting explained how not to balk, basically. It's a learning experience. I like it. But it just adds something else to try to coach up this year. It's another way I look at that.
They'll get there.
Yeah, we will get there. Hey, you know who else had a great Christmas and probably been really, really busy since Christmas?
Who's that?
Eternal Roofing.
Yep.
They put up Christmas lights, but you know what that means?
You got to take them down.
Take that stuff down, too. And I don't know if anyone can tell, but yes, my Christmas tree is still up. We usually leave it up through the Epiphany, which is January 6th. But we actually kind of just leave it up until we feel like taking it down, and I'm still in a merry spirit. So our tree's up.
Hey, good for you.
Judge me all you want. Let's talk Bearcats. Let's catch up on things we've missed. We're going to talk about the transfer portal, but first we're going to get a word in from my friends over at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing and General Contracting is your choice for integrity work in the Texas Hill Country. Taylor Andrus and crew provide experienced quality roofing services with a mission of roofing with faith, serving with integrity, and sheltering homes in the spirit of stewardship. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what satisfied customer Pamela Allen had to say about Eternal Roofing. They did a great job on our patio roof, came out quick for a quote. The quote was very reasonable, and they started and finished work well and quickly. Not a bad thing to say about Eternal Roofing. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email them taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Big thank you to our friends over at Eternal Roofing. And Benjamin, this portal, it officially opened a few days ago. Officially, right? People. One thing I have not commented on because I still haven't written it, but one of the things that really I found freaking interesting was when a running back at halftime of a playoff game that you are leading tweets out that they're transferring after the season. They're entering the portal. They put this out at halftime of a game that they're winning.
Yeah, and wasn't there a Texas State player that I think he said post game he's like can't wait to be back next year, and then an hour later after the game he posted he was in the portal or going in the portal.
Trey Page the third, man, that's diabolical to post that at halftime of a game your team is winning.
Yeah,
That was something. And then hey, I was at that Texas State Rice game. I was helping with the stats again this year in the Armed Forces Bowl, the bowl for the brave. But did you see what happened there?
no. Oh, you talking about the injury?
No.
Oh.
No. He was fine. Thankfully, he was fine. That dude, I was watching that through the binoculars since I was keeping stats, and that looked bad.
Yeah.
That looked pretty bad. It was right in front of where we're positioned up there. I had a really good view. I didn't want of that head snapping the way it did, but thankfully he's okay. I'm talking about pregame, dude.
Oh, the paratroopers, yeah.
Paratrooper, he comes parachuting in and gets hung up on the wire that holds the field goal netting. It starts to curl up. I think he might have cut it because they have that ability. I'm not sure. This dude fell from the top of the goalpost to the ground.
And wasn't there one that landed outside the stadium too because he missed?
I don't know if he missed or if they. Dude, everything was so messed up with that day, right? Like, even on the flyover, one plane didn't go over the stadium.
Yeah.
And then when that paratrooper comes in and gets caught, the next one went around. I don't know if he missed or if they told him to go to the parking lot or where in the world he might have landed.
Yeah.
And that hurts when you land up with your
Right.
in. And then that dude falls. And of course, my wife is like, I was hoping somebody would break his fall. No, you don't. You get out the way.
Yeah, because then they're in the line of fire.
Also, those guys have learned how to fall. That's part of their training.
Yeah.
Right? Like they learn how to take a fall more than twice your height can kill you. That's a medical fact. But these guys also they go through fall training because you have to prepare for what could go wrong when you're doing something like that.
Yep.
Whew, boy, did we get off on a tangent there.
Just covering the bases from the last few weeks.
That's right. Back to the portal. And by the way, if you want to see all of these updates, and a lot of you have, go to our Substack page. March 2, the number 2, thepod.substack.com. Benjamin's keeping them updated all the time. We're going to start getting some tweets out, leading people to that again, since I'm deciding to wake up and do something or whatever. In the meantime, we have a ton of updates, and Ben's going to provide us with those.
Oh man, where do we even start?
Hold on, Jason Pluckett, we got to start here. Where the falls in honor of G.J. Kinney don't his players tend to fake injuries. You know, Jason, we're not. I have things that are written in this script that could get me in trouble today, and I'm trying not to, Jason.
I know, we're trying.
Trying not to. Okay, where do we start? How about we start with who's leaving?
Well, the entire offensive line.
Well, that ain't great, Bob.
Yeah, well, we can just start from the top. So obviously, Mabry Matoyer at quarterback. That's one to know, and I'm just running through the list here from top to bottom. Obviously, it looked like Landon Locke was going to be the guy next year, so Mabry Matoyer moves on. Wide receiver, a couple guys, Lonnie Atkinson and Fatu Makuba. Two guys that didn't play a ton during their time here, the 2 years they were here, but guys that I thought could really contribute next year. Really highly regarded recruits. Lonnie Atkinson played a little bit this year and last year, so he saw the field a little bit. So,
and if I remember correctly, he was a 3-star brought in under Keeler in the last couple of years, and he was one of the highly touted recruits. I am surprised to see that he didn't quite see more times with all the wide receiver troubles they had this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, one of the highest rated offensive recruits in program history. So maybe not guys that are huge losses, but, pieces that you would have liked to hang on to that could have made an impact next year and kind of beyond. Tight end, continue with the portal, Dylan Burke and Rayfield Lawton. Lawton announced today that he is going in the portal. Add to that Austin Smith, who's graduating, and you lose probably your 3 most productive tight ends from this year. That's been a position they've really been hitting hard this week. Offensive line, this is the position where you've been hit the hardest. Rhett Larson, who was your right guard, hits the portal. Colt Dieterich hit the portal now at Washington. He's committed there. One of the top graded tackles.
Hold on, did he take that quarterback's money?
Oh, maybe. That might be.
I saw about that. We are in an age of college football, Ben, where a player is signing an agreement, which to me should be the contractual law should say this guy's probably going to end up back in Washington, but he signed an agreement and then enters the portal. This is nuts, man. There's got to be some sort of honor.
It's wild, but yeah, maybe Colt took his money. I don't think he did. Colt's a good kid. Also lost Mitch Lee Joseph, who was one of your two guys at left guard, along with William McCollum. McCollum's graduating. Also lost Luke Eckert to graduation at left tackle, James Don at center to left tackle. So you're really without your entire offensive line from this last year. Some big losses there. Defensive line, Zyke Lawton went into the portal. He was a guy that I had originally had as someone that was out of eligibility, but he got a medical red shirt, so he has another year left. So he'll hit the portal. So obviously it's a loss. He's a guy that played, but a guy I didn't really expect back. And then Jaden Scott announced he was entering the portal yesterday. DB that played quite a bit for you at safety, had 34 tackles. Last year, Jake Fitzgerald, your backup long snapper, also going into the portal. And then a sneaky one, Curtis Durand, punter, who had a really good freshman season. He is also entering the portal, was a guy that you would have loved to hang on to, had a really nice season and had 3 years of eligibility left. So, yeah, it is on the special teams side. So you're up to 12 guys that have entered the portal to this point. It's still open until the 16th, I believe it is, but those are your portal losses at the moment.
Okay, I got a question for you. 12 right now. I know there's still time. What is that more or less than you were expecting at this point?
Probably a little bit less, but there's still a lot of time left, and the numbers are still lining up about where I thought they would be. You had 23 players graduate. You've had 12 enter the portal. That's 35 spots you got to fill. I would expect maybe a handful more guys to enter. Longo was saying he expects to have, 40 or 50 scholarship guys back, so that number would be maybe 5 to 7 more that enter the portal. Maybe they hang on to more than they thought they would. But, yeah, it's a little less than I expected, but there's just still so much time left, and you never know what's going to happen at the end.
I'm in the stream with audio only. Right? You still hear me?
You're a little muffled, but I can hear you. Can't see you, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened to the camera, but, man, that's something that, for now, you just get to see a blank screen there, which is not a problem for a lot of people. Some things here. Chris Gilstrap watching on Facebook. Thank you very much for tuning in. Larson and Dieterich are big losses. That entire line is. And General Sam on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. We just missed out on tight end Lucas Hunter.
Tight end's been a big position of emphasis so far this week. I know. I forget the name off the top of my head. The FAU tight end is supposed to visit, and I believe the Portland State tight end is supposed to visit as well. They've offered 1 or 2 more, so it's a position where they've got to fill some needs and at least get some more bodies in there.
Yeah, and look, I'm a little surprised that it is that it's been this few, especially what we were hearing back with things coming from the locker room per se. Well, I was kind of expecting a lot more to enter the portal. So 12 right now, not bad. We'll see how it ends up, though.
Yeah, and another one I forgot, too, and it should be on the list here. I might need to add it. But Jamar Diaz is another one that hit the portal. Obviously a pretty big loss there. A guy that was a standout through the 3.5 games that he played. So that's another big loss. Some impact losses on the line of scrimmage, which is not something you want to see. The numbers aren't huge, but there are a good amount of impact guys like your Dieterich, Larson, Duran, Diaz, guys like that are going to hurt.
Those are the positions at line of scrimmage where you need the age, right? The older guys are usually a little better because they've had more time. in the weight room and more time in the nutrition. So they tend to be a little better. That's why that line of scrimmage is so concerning. What do they have coming in?
Yeah, so you've got 7 guys at this point in your portal class, JUCO commits. So to run through them, 2 of them are signed. I'll start with those. Colin, junior college offensive lineman Joseph Warren is signed. Obviously, O-line's a big position of need. Tyler, junior college DB Justin Cottrell was also a JUCO All-American at corner. Looks like he could probably be an impact guy there for you at corner position of need after you've lost some guys. And then Fresno City College DB Jalen Jones, he committed a few weeks ago, also not signed just yet. And then you've got 5 guys that you have officially signed this week. You've got Houston edge Zion Taylor, kind of a hybrid linebacker, defensive end. He'll play that beast position that they have that Jamar Diaz and Chauncey Cheedy played last year. Looks like that's where he's going to slot in. Arizona defensive lineman Jara Anderson, a guy that only played 1 year or 1 game at Arizona the last 2 years. He was hurt 1 year, took a red shirt, but at Memphis as a true freshman a few seasons ago, had a really nice year, had 10 tackles, 1.5 sacks. I think he was on some freshman All-American teams or American Conference freshman teams. So looks like he could be a good pickup. He is listed as a defensive tackle. He's only 270. I am interested to see how they use him. Maybe they beef him up, keep him on the inside, put him on the edge. So we'll see what he looks like, but I think he's a nice pickup. Arizona linebacker Stacey Bay, a guy that's kind of gone back and forth between linebacker and safety during his career, was a linebacker. Arizona moved him to safety. Looks like we're going to play him at linebacker. That's what he committed as, was a linebacker. So a guy that didn't play a ton at Arizona, mainly on special teams, but another linebacker you're bringing in. Holy Cross wide receiver Elijah Carson, a speedster, burner guy, incredible in the return game. Had a kick return touchdown for Holy Cross last year. I think he had 2 called back as well. So even if he doesn't give you a lot in the receiving game, I think he could be a really dynamic returner for you. And then finally, Concordia University linebacker, and that's Concordia up in St. Paul, Minnesota, Division II. Another linebacker, Michael King Jr., had 69 tackles and 7 TFLs last year. So you've brought in, I think it's 8 now between this portal cycle opening up and then the 3 JUCO guys. A lot of needs left. By my count, you've probably got at least 20 roster spots left. Maybe you don't fill all of them in the next 10 days because guys just got to get in the portal. They can still commit, before the summer. But yeah, good progress so far. Still have a long way to go. Still have some big holes to fill. Especially on the O-line and at quarterback, but it's a good start on defense. Still got a long way to go.
Yeah. Is there any concern that some of these guys just didn't see a lot of playing time?
They were all young. They're all guys with 3 years of eligibility, maybe 2 years of eligibility. And then a guy like Jara Anderson, he played a lot at Memphis as a freshman, was hurt 1 year, and then didn't play a ton this last year. Holy Cross and Concordia University, Elijah Case and Michael King, they played a lot where they were. The JUCO guys played a lot where they were. So there are a couple, like Zion Taylor, Stacey Bay, didn't play a ton. But I'm not too concerned about that, especially considering they're younger guys, and some of them are coming from bigger programs too.
Yeah, I hear you. You just never know, right? Like a lot of these guys, you really don't know. And do they go off film of practices? How much can you really go off of some of that stuff is another question.
Yeah, well, and the 2 Arizona guys that didn't play a lot the last 2 years in Stacey Bay and Jara Anderson, I tweeted this out last night. Kayla Zimkin, who's one of your recruiting coordinators, and then Blair Vaughn, who's your strength and conditioning guy, were both at Arizona before they came here. So they probably have some sort of connection, know them a little bit, which I think helps because they're 2 of the 3 guys that really haven't played the last 2 years, so I think that alleviates some of the concern for those 2 guys.
All right, let's see what's coming in. Comments. I'm just going to say it's at Luna on YouTube watching. We appreciate it. Hope we focus on O-line some more. I think that's going to be the focus of the fan base throughout, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and it's a big concern for me. I tweeted it in a reply to someone this morning. you've got to focus on O-line. I mean, you've only offered one offensive lineman this week. Obviously, maybe not everything's public, not every offer's out there, not every visit's out there, but you lost all 5 offensive linemen. You also lose some depth that you had there, like Grayson Jackson-Smith graduated also. William McCollum graduated. So you're losing pretty much everybody that played last year outside of Cam Todd and maybe Isaac Sohn a little bit. So you've got to, in my opinion, at least go get 4 or 5 guys. And maybe you're high internally on a Logan Cahill, who was a big prospect coming out of Prosper this last year, Cam Todd, who played center for you the first few weeks before James Don came in. Kevin Kalanji does come back. I've heard he's going to use his additional JUCO year. Maybe you're high on those couple guys, but you still have to have depth, and you've got to find at least a few more starter quality guys. And it's just been concerning that it doesn't seem to be an emphasis, at least to this point.
Well, I can tell you that there will be no camera for me for the rest of the day. I'm not sure what happened. You cannot find it anymore. And I don't know if you could hear me a minute ago, but I had a nice little word.
Well, I can hear you right now.
Well, that's good. I don't know if you heard me a few minutes ago when I, when things fell.
No.
I said the word.
I did not hear
biscuits. That. I said biscuits. Really.
Did not hear that one, thankfully.
Thankfully, yes. So it's just audio from one side for the rest of this one. Anything else we have on the portal, Ben?
The other position I think you've got to hit is quarterback. I mean, right now it's Landon Locke and DJ Bailey. Noah Normand is also on the roster. I believe he's a walk-on. You've got to find at least 1 or 2 guys for depth, maybe push Landon Locke for a starting position. Right now that room is not complete. It's another room you haven't extended an offer to. You've got 1 JUCO offer out. I believe it's Trey Guerrera. He's the TJC quarterback, but I saw he has some bigger offers, so I don't know how in the mix you are with him. But
Trey's a guy I watched quite a bit this year, especially considering they won the Southwest Junior College Football Conference and made it to the national semifinals. Dude, he's a gamer. That's what Trey is. Trey's a gamer, and he's got some pretty good-sized offers. I know some other teams in the conference have been on him. Missouri State was on him pretty quick, but he's had quite a few. It almost feels like Sam's coming a little late to the party for him.
Yeah, well, and I think they've had him offered for a few months now, but even still, I just don't think you're going to be in the mix for him. And I feel like you're late to the party on a lot of people at this point. I mean, guys are probably going into their second round of visits right now. I really don't know what the plan is, because you can't go into 2026 with the quarterback room of Landon Locke, DJ Bailey, and Noah Normand. It's just, even if Landon Locke has taken the next step, I mean, that is not a deep enough room. There's not enough proven depth. You've got to bring in some guys that can push Landon Locke, or at least give you a chance if Locke goes down next year. So O-line and quarterback are my big positions of concern right now.
We're almost at a point where if you're not, there is no laws against tampering.
Yeah.
There's nothing against tampering. So these guys, why do you think the Washington quarterback signs an agreement and then leaves? Because reportedly LSU is offering more, right? Like right now, you're not really breaking the rules by getting in the mud. You've got to kind of do that, unfortunately.
You got to do something, or you've got to just go all in on a guy that's in the portal right now that maybe doesn't have a ton of interest. And it's the same with offensive line, really. I mean, just from a numbers perspective, you're losing 1, 2, 3, 4. You're losing 7 players, and you've brought in 2. Just from a numbers perspective, I mean, you got to bring in 5 more just to be whole at that position. So, I mean, it's just a big concern for me at those 2 spots.
You need at least 10, especially with injuries, 10 that you can trust.
Yeah, well, and I listed 3 guys that I could see us being high on internally. You know, Cam Todd flashed a little bit at center. He did a decent job. Isaac Sohn started to get some time at left tackle. There at the end of the year, maybe 4 total. Logan Cahill, I think, could be a nice player for you out of Prosper, and then Kevin Kalanji also. But even those 4, all 4 of them have question marks, and they haven't really played a ton at this level.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll keep you updated. We will have weekly updates on the portal. And if you're enjoying the show, help us grow by rating and reviewing March to the Pod on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe also to our Substack page, march2thepod.substack.com. Also find us on Twitter. Yeah, we're still there as March to the Pod. Facebook, Instagram, that one hadn't got hacked yet. TikTok and YouTube by searching March to the Pod. That's March 2 the Pod. And we're also proud members of CUSA Podcast Roundtable. They have shows covering all 12 programs. We're going to come back and we're going to get caught up on the women's basketball program. We got predictions for tomorrow night's game. But first, let's hear another word from our friends at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing only uses the finest materials in the roofing business while providing an exceptional warranty. Why do they use CertainTeed products? Because they complement any appearance, provide exceptional and reliable strength, and are known for their enduring performance. Here's what Shane Sosa had to say about Eternal Roofing. Taylor and his team are amongst the highest level of professionals. They care about their customers and go above and beyond just doing the job. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539 or email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com.
Big thank you to our friends over at Eternal Roofing. If you're just tuning in, well, there's only one video today. We get to see Ben's great face because my camera decided to go out. I hadn't used it in a while. Maybe he got mad at me.
Yeah, welcome back. It's a welcoming gift.
Dude, if that ain't starting 2026 off right, I don't know what is.
I know.
Women, well, speaking of starting 2026 off right, we got positive news on this front. The women's basketball 8-4 overall right now, 1-0 Conference USA. They started conference with a big 67-64 road victory over the Lady Texters last Friday in Ruston. That was a good win, Ben.
Huge win. Louisiana Tech, a program that traditionally is at the very top of Conference USA, very tough to win on the road, and you scored 67 points on offense, and that is huge. You showed that you could win a game that isn't played in the 40s and 50s, and I got to watch the last 3 quarters of it. I watched the men's game before it and then had some stuff to do, missed the first quarter, but yeah, just an overall team effort, and man, Fontacone has just been such a fun player to watch this year. Really taking a step forward and was a big part of that win. So was Deborah Ogayemi. Your returners that came back that you expected to play a big role are doing just that. And yeah, you have a big test coming up tomorrow with Liberty.
Huge test. And we got some numbers to show here in a bit, some national and conference comparison numbers to see. So that then there's some eye-opening things that I like from this women's team. You talked about Liberty, 4 p.m. Thursday, ESPN Plus. The Flaming Christians are 2-0. They're the Flames. They're Flaming Christians with both wins on the road. They beat New Mexico State 67-62 and UTEP 86-66 on Liberty. And look, it's hard to win on the road. Never take away from that. How was the competition? Like, where does UTEP and New Mexico State really kind of fall within how you predict them in the conference?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really do a ton for me, just because for me, Liberty is probably the top team in the league this year for me. And Liberty has played a gauntlet of a schedule so far in the non-conference too. So I think their record's like 8-5, but they've played Duke, Oregon State, a couple other big teams, and then you've got UTEP and New Mexico State who aren't really going to be competing at the top. I was looking up their exact records. UTEP,
they played James Madison. They're 8-5 overall. Yeah, they played Duke at home.
Yeah, that's what I think they've got them 2 years in a row at home, or they had a home and home with them. But UTEP is 9-4. You know, they're 1-1 in the league right now. They'll compete. I don't think they're going to be top 2 or 3, but they'll be pretty good. And the New Mexico State's 5-9, so obviously a program that isn't great. But the fact that you win both on the road is impressive. And for Sam Houston, it's going to be tough to win on the road, but you did it. You did it against Louisiana Tech. We'll see if you can do it again at Liberty.
And then Saturday, they head to Delaware to take on the Blue Hens, which is what's the word? A genetically correct term for the women's team?
Yep, I guess.
The Fighting Blue Hens at 1 p.m. Saturday, also on ESPN Plus. I'm not making any other comments about hens. Blue Hens are 0-2. Both games have been on the road. Now, we talk about these two teams, right? They lost to UTEP 82-71. They lost to New Mexico State in overtime. This one, it almost feels like coming off of the game against coming off that game against Liberty, that this is going to be one of those that the Blue Hens might just get a very angry Sam Houston team, and they're 5-9 overall. Oh no, that's the men's
6-8.
They're 6-8 overall on the women's side. It just feels like they're going to get a very, very angry Cats women's team coming off of Liberty, likely.
Well, yeah, I mean, likely. And I think it's a game, and I think you can start saying this about this Sam Houston team, that I think you're just flat out better from a talent perspective and a roster perspective. You're coming off wins against the 9-3 Northern Colorado team. You went on the road and beat Louisiana Tech. These are the kind of games that, even though it's the second half of a back-to-back on a long road trip, you got to find ways to win these. And we'll see if they do. If they do, I mean, the trajectory of this team continues to point up. And I'm really excited about where this team is. The offense has made strides throughout the year. The defense continues to do what it always has. So, yeah, it's a big road trip. If you can split it, I think that would be a really good start for you. If you go 2-1 after starting all 3 games on the road, that's a great start.
It would be a fantastic start. Delaware hosts La Tech at 6 o'clock Thursday. Okay, well, what are some of the comparisons? I've got them here for us. Stat comparisons for Liberty and Sam Houston State coming into this game. The effective field goal percentage, let me give you a little story about this one, Benjamin. While the NCAA tracks the effective field goal percentage for the men, they do not track that percentage for the women. So I had to find this from, I think it was WarrenNolan.com has this. So I have national ranks. I don't have conference ranks for this. I found that to be a little bit interesting.
That is weird. I'd never thought of that or seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, you would just think they would calculate all of them the same, but they don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, effective field goal percentage, which is supposed to give you a good calculation of total, like 2s and 3s. Liberty's 92nd in the country. Sam Houston's 351st out of 361 teams or 359 teams, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not good, but we knew the offense wasn't good now. But that's effective field goal percentage. Look at the scoring offense. They're pretty close nationally. Liberty's 174. Cats are 185. Scoring defense. Liberty's 144, right about average. Cats are 29th, Benjamin, on scoring defense. That is huge.
And it's not a surprise with how this team plays. Great defense and offense that's very all over the place.
Now, here's a part where Liberty, you're going to go, whoa, this is a big advantage for tomorrow night. Rebounding margin. They're 23rd in the country in rebounding margin. The Cats are 235th. That portends to good things for the Flames.
Yeah, rebounding has been a struggle. Even in your win against Louisiana Tech, you were out-rebounded by a pretty decent margin. You don't have a ton of size. In Liberty, I'm just looking at their roster now. They've already got, 6 players that are 6 foot or taller. And you're typically out there with your tallest player being Deborah Ogayemi at about 5'10", 5'11". So the size difference is going to be big. Liberty's a very big team, but you can see if you can out-athlete them. And you just got to find a way to hold your own.
That they do. You look at assist-turnover ratio, they're pretty close. 194 for Liberty, 206 for Sam Houston. Here's the big one, another one. We looked at scoring defense. This one really caught my eye, though. Turnover margin. Liberty's bad. They're -4 overall in turnover margin, 333rd in the country. And the Cats, this should be no surprise, although I'm really happy to see it this high. They're 14th. That number 14, I know they force a lot, Ben, But that number also tells me they do a good job of taking care of the ball.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And Fontecone is a big part of that at the point guard position. Force a ton of turnovers, take care of the ball, and I think that shows why there's such a big gap between the field goal percentage and the scoring offense. Is you just get so many more chances in field goal attempts because you're turning them over 25, 30 times a game, and you're only turning it over, 12, 13, 14, 15 times a game, and you get more shots. And I think that's a big reason why there's a difference between the field goal percentage and the scoring offense.
All right, looking at Conference USA, we'll run through these quickly. Effective field goal percentage not available. Scoring offense, Liberty 4th, Sam Houston 7th. Scoring defense, Liberty 5th, Sam Houston, no surprise, they're top. Rebounding margin, again, no surprise. Flames are the first. Cats are 10th. I am still concerned about that rebounding margin. Assist turnover ratio, 4th for Liberty, 5th for Sam Houston. Turnover margin, and you just talked about 12th. Their last in the conference is Liberty. Now, I know you got size, but that size can come back to bite you sometimes too.
Right. And that's part of why Sam Houston is very good on the turnover margin. They cause a lot of havoc with their athleticism, and they've got a lot of really good ball handlers.
Okay, so we're going to do predictions for the women this year. And there are no actual lines right now. So I use ChatGPT. So we're going to just go all season with the women. We'll go with what ChatGPT says they believe will be the score. That's what we'll put as the spread, and then we'll give our predictions on it. See how we do. You never know. Sam Houston at Liberty, 4 p.m. Thursday, January 8th, ESPN Plus. Liberty right now are 11-point favorites according to ChatGPT. The total 131. They project the Flaming Christians to win this one 71-60. Okay, Ben, what say you?
It's honestly a pretty good line. I don't know if Liberty scores 71. I'm probably going to go 68-59 Liberty. So that would be under and a Sam Houston cover. I think it's a game that you probably keep within about 10 points the entire time, but you just can't get over the hump.
There are things I see here where Sam Houston could really, really give this team some trouble. Because when you look at the rebounding margin, which is truly where Liberty has a very distinct advantage, that's defensive rebounds. They don't give up a lot of offensive rebounds. But they also don't collect on the offensive end very well. They're 96th in the country. They get 13.5 offensive rebounds per game. For comparison, the Cats are 16th. They get 16.5 offensive rebounds per game. So defensive rebounds is really where Sam Houston's not good. So it's kind of almost strength on strength here in this game. I do think that Liberty wins this one. I don't think it's going to be near 71-60. I think it's 61-57. I can see Sam Houston's pressure giving them fits, keeping it low scoring. Liberty with the experience will pull away a little at the end. They win 61-57. I've got the Cats covering and going under.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if it's a game that is that kind of score, that's the kind of game you want to get into as a Sam Houston team.
Oh, yeah, you want to muck it up as much as you can muck it.
Right.
And I said muck, just to be clear. Before I say anything else worse than muck, let's get in another word from our friends at Eternal Roofing. When we come back, we'll have a Cat Fund update and get you some men's basketball updates as well.
Eternal Roofing is locally owned and dedicated to giving back to the community by supporting local organizations and charities. They are also the winner of Next Door's Neighborhood Faves for 2 consecutive years. And as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Eternal Roofing is your choice for Christmas lights. They provide premium lights tailored to fit your home, season-long maintenance, and hassle-free removal. Kyle Tatum said, "They're very professional and great quality, on time and clean, and really made me feel like they cared for me and my home." Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com.
Big thank you once again to our friends over at Eternal Roofing. before we get to looking at the men's basketball and give our predictions there, and in case you're just tuning in, hey, and you're watching the video, you're only going to see one of us, so let's just put him solo screen and let him talk about the Cat Fund. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, well, a big thing we've got going on right now is our Sam Houston Golf Champions Dinner coming up January 30th at 6 p.m. at the Walker Education Center. I know our social medias have posted the links. We posted them a couple weeks ago. The golf team on their social media continues to post the links as well. If you need a link or can't find it, just shoot us a DM. But a great way to support our men's and women's golf programs. And it's a champions dinner. The men won the championship in 2024 for Conference USA. Women won the championship. Men won in 2025. The women won in 2024. So be able to celebrate them, support the program. Former Navy SEAL Randy Buziel is going to be there speaking. He's the guest speaker, friend of Coach Kieschnick. So going to be a good night, steak dinner that's going to be catered. Going to have some auction items as well. Definitely want to be a part of it.
Dude, Navy SEALs have stories, man.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear them.
They've got some stories, and there's going to be a lot of things he can't tell you. Because if you, as I found out when I got out of the military, if you have a secret clearance and you've received any of that information, you cannot give any of that out at any point in time. You sign the documents saying so. So there will be things he can't say, but man, they also have some great stories.
Yes. It'll be a good time. Definitely
There's
need you to be
times
there.
my wife asks me some things, and I'm like, I can't always tell you.
Nope, not even her.
No. And look, it's not stuff that you really want to be talking about anyway, usually when it comes there.
Yeah.
Men's basketball, let's talk about that. That's also been mostly positive, but we had some things. 8-6 overall, but 0-3 Conference USA. Before Christmas, they lost to New Mexico State 87-78, a game they were in until the very last couple minutes. At Western Kentucky, they took a 102-91 loss last Friday, struggled defensively. They turned around, went to a good Middle Tennessee State team, and all three of these teams, in my opinion, are pretty good teams, I think, this year. Middle Tennessee State, they 68-67 loss. That's a really tough one to take.
Yeah.
Last Sunday, Ben.
I was there for that one. I was there in person in Murfreesboro. It was a heartbreaker.
That one was tough. Is there anything that we should be worried about at this point? They seem like they're right on the edge.
Yeah, you can only use it as a crutch for so long. It's such a young team. I mean, they look so good in non-conference play. I think the ramp up in intensity of conference play was a little bit of an eye-opener. The way you started some of these games was a little concerning. Middle Tennessee, you went down by 17. New Mexico State, I think you went down by almost 20 at one point. Held the lead against Middle Tennessee for a lot of the second half. Got it close against New Mexico State. Couldn't finish against WKU. You were up 14 in the first half. So you found it in spurts. You just got to find a way to put it together, and I think part of that is being a young team still trying to figure it out. But like I said, you can only use that crutch for so long. I think the other part of it too is you've had one home game since November 22nd, and it was a non-Division I game. You've gone to Oregon State, you've gone to Kentucky, you've gone to Tennessee, New Mexico, Oklahoma State. I mean, the travel has been brutal so far this year, and then you start your first three conference games on the road. I think that plays a part in it too. And on the men's side, the road teams to this point are 3-15 in conference play. So I think the big part in conference play is you got to defend home court, and that starts this weekend with Delaware and Liberty, and then you got to find a way to probably steal 3, maybe 4 games on the road out of your 10. If you can go 4-6 on the road, something like that, I think that wouldn't be terrible. So those are just some of my initial thoughts from what we've seen so far through these 3 games.
Okay, so I'm going to bring a baseball thing into it here. In a baseball team to make the playoffs, you want to take care of business at home and finish 500 on the road. Feels that way with Conference USA men this year.
Oh, yeah.
That's really what it feels like. And that, it's not just baseball. That actually does go for a lot of sports. It's hard to win on the road. This team's been on the road a lot. Yes, I get they're young. But another thing I don't want to lose sight of this. I know it's important. And they got to learn these lessons. Like what you talked about, falling behind. Got to be able to start well. having a lead
Gotta
and not
finish.
being able to hold it, right? Those are things that you have to learn, but that's why we have these games. That's why this happens. But let's make no mistake. This season, only thing that truly matters is winning the conference basketball tournament. That's it.
Yeah, and you just got to get in the top 8. That's and there's really not a ton of separation. I mean, honestly, to this point, Middle Tennessee is probably the most impressive team that I've seen. I mean, they beat Louisiana Tech at home 2 days before you by 35. They lost by, I think, 8 or 9 to Houston on the road last week too. So yeah, so I mean, they are legit, and you were 2 seconds away from beating them on the road on the second game of a back-to-back road trip. So you find a way to get in. It really doesn't matter what seed you are. Just find a way to get in the tournament, peak at the right time, and with the way how young you are, I mean, these kids, you've got 17 more games just until the conference tournament, and you've only played 14 to this point, and you've seen a lot of these kids develop a lot. I mean, Jacob Walker, Jacoby Coleman, Matt Dan will give you some minutes. Isaiah Manning has really come on strong. So who knows? It's really about where these teams are after they've played 17 more. It's all about the conference tournament.
It really is. And there's an adjustment period. But these kids also are used to playing basketball a lot. So I don't think fatigue will worry in there as much in college as it does in the NBA. Like NBA rookies struggle with the schedule and the amount of play. I don't think that's going to be a case here in college. But the learning experience, and the thing is, what Mudge needs to get through to them is, look, you've now seen the intensity picks up in conference. And just so you know, it picks up a little more at conference tournament time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the minutes part, you've done a really good job of distributing minutes. The only spot I'm a little concerned is you've had to play Vico Elich a ton at center, and that's kind of the last position you want to play a guy a ton of minutes. So losing Shek Njai has been a tough thing for them to navigate. It's just been tough when he's off the floor. You just kind of have to keep him on. I've noticed they take him out a minute before the media timeout, let him rest through the media, put him right back in. So not really worried about minutes with anyone just because there is so much depth, especially at the guard and forward position. But interested to see how Elich handles this entire season with how many minutes they've put on him recently.
That's a common trick. I like that trick, too, for a player you need on the floor.
Yeah.
Give them a minute or two before take them out with about a minute, last stoppage you think will be before the media timeout, and then that gives them that, and you kind of catch a couple minutes. It's a sneaky thing. I like how Mudge is doing that.
Yeah, it's what you got to do. I mean, you got to keep him on the floor. He's been really good for you.
That is true. Well, we see tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m., ESPN Plus. They are at home against Delaware.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask, Ben, a hen is a female, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, no, it is. Okay, so I'm not judging. The Blue Hens, the Fighting Blue Hens, are 1-2 in Conference USA. I'm not making any jokes about them. All their games have do what?
None.
All their games have been at home. They lost to Missouri State 61-43. They lost 67-64 to Jacksonville State, and then they beat Kennesaw 67-52. It almost seems like, and this team has struggled on the road, and they have struggled this year. This almost seems like a get-right game for Sam Houston.
I agree. I agree. It just on paper, Delaware's probably the least talented team in the league. They've struggled pretty much all year outside of that Kennesaw game, and they pushed BYU for about 10 minutes when they played them earlier this year. But I watched the entire game when they played Missouri State to open Conference USA play and scored 43 points, and honestly about 15 of those came in the last 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, I didn't know if they'd break 30 there for a while. This is a team that they don't really run a lot of really good sets on offense. They don't have a ton of size. Their ball handlers aren't great. I mean, this is a game that you should win pretty handily, and if you don't, I think then the concerns really start to set in.
Well, let's see how they match up. National stats comparison. Effective field goal percentage, because the NCAA likes the men more than the women. They have it on their site. Just saying. See how I put that in there, Ben? Makes my wife happy. Delaware, 193 on effective field goal percentage. Sam Houston, 140. 300, what is there, 361 teams? 360,
Yeah, 363, something like that.
somewhere in that area that they rank. Scoring offense, 340th for Delaware. Okay, that's not good. 38th for Sam Houston. But the problem for Sam Houston, they're 249th on scoring defense. Delaware's 114th. That's a pretty large gap that, to me, is a bit concerning because defense is how you win those championships.
The defense has been very sporadic for you, and it showed up against Western Kentucky. I think you gave up 60 or 62 points in the second half. So, I mean, the offense has been good, but the defense has really struggled at times.
Yes. So rebounding margin. This one impressed me. Not Delaware. They're 311. Sam Houston is 24th in rebounding margin. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, even I would have to, I know you out rebounded Middle Tennessee. I can't remember WKU, and then you lost against New Mexico State, and they're a great rebounding team. I think you out rebounded them by 10. This team is not going to be beat on the boards.
No, and I like that because rebounding is very vital to winning a basketball game. Assist turnover ratio, Delaware 277, Sam Houston 155. Turnover margin, Delaware 334, Sam Houston 208. Just looking at national rankings, looks like this probably should not be a really close game.
No, and hopefully you can kind of coast early, get your guys out. I mean, ideally, I don't know how realistic that is with a Conference USA game, but yeah, need to handle business and get the momentum moving in the right direction with Liberty coming to town Saturday.
Let's speak about that for just a second before we move on into the conference stats comparison. They do host the Flaming Christians at 2:30 Saturday, ESPN Plus, Johnson Coliseum. Make sure you get there. Look, they're 3-0 in Conference USA. They beat FIU 97-94 in OT on the road shortly after Christmas. They beat Kennesaw 81-73 and Jack State 78-69 last weekend. That to me just kind of seems like they're taking care of business right now.
Yeah, I mean, they had kind of a lull in non-conference play, but yeah, they won the conference last year, and I mean they're the team to beat to this point.
Okay, would 1-1 be okay with this weekend?
I feel like you have to say yes, but ideally, especially because you started 0-3, I think you almost need to go 2-0. You don't have to, but it would be really nice. You can get back up in the standings, knock off Liberty. Who knows? Maybe you come into a tiebreaker with them later. And you got to feel good about where you get them to. It's their second road game on a road trip, so you get them in about as good of a spot as you possibly could.
Yeah, that's a big game they have in Ruston tomorrow night, and then they got to turn around and go right to Huntsville. That's not an easy thing to do. Let's get back into tomorrow night's game, the game against Delaware, the Lady Hens. Looking at Conference USA stats, effective field goal percentage, Delaware 6th, Sam Houston's 3rd, scoring offense, Delaware is last, and like you said, they didn't know if they didn't break 30 against Missouri State. Sam Houston's 3rd, scoring defense, Delaware 7th, Sam Houston 10, rebounding margin, no surprise, 12th, last again for Delaware, 2nd for Sam Houston, assist turnover ratio 11th, Delaware, 6th Sam Houston, turnover margin 12th Delaware, 10th Sam Houston. In a lot of ways, Benjamin, it looks like we're looking at the football stats, but yet this time the Cats are on the right side of it, not the wrong side.
Yeah, because Delaware was rolling when they came into Sam Houston.
Yeah, they were. Okay, predictions time. Here it is, 6:30 p.m. apparently. That's how I did it. Thursday, January 8th on ESPN. That's what happens when you're doing this stuff fast. The line. This one actually has a line. ActionNetwork.com came out with a line this afternoon, and Sam Houston is 12.5 point favorites, total of 131. So we're going to give it an 80-67 prediction from Action Network. Now, ChatGPT, you know what? Yeah, let's do that real quick. ChatGPT's prediction is Sam Houston 76-71. They project that.
Ooh.
They project that a little bit tighter. Interesting. Before we get into that, I do want to go back real quick because our last show we had Texas Southern. We had a prediction on that. You remember?
Yes.
Now, I said 13 and a half. That's what we based the line on. And I said 155 and a half for the total. Do you know what the Vegas line was?
I know the Vegas line for the spread was a lot smaller.
Minus 7.5.
Yeah.
Do you know what the total was?
I can't remember that one.
158 and a half. I was 3 off on guess. Now, what happened though? What happened? I said 85-71. Vegas said a lot closer to that. What happened? Sam Houston won 82-70.
Yep.
And you know what? I know it finished under what we picked against, but we're going off of what Vegas had. So but we're both 1-0 against the spread and on the total because we both had it going under.
Yeah. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep that going. Let's keep that momentum going here. Okay. Vegas says Cats 12 and a half, 13. ChatGPT says gonna be a little closer, 76-71. What do you say, Ben?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Sam Houston 82, Delaware 70. So I'm gonna take Delaware to cover, and then that would be an over. Yeah, I think Sam Houston, stays ahead 10, 12 points the entire game. Doesn't quite cover and goes over.
All right. We're not far off on our predictions here, but I think this is a get-right game for Sam Houston. I think Mudge has this team ready. I think they've learned, like you said, what it takes to win in conference now. I think they come out ready for Delaware. I've got Sam Houston winning this one comfortably, 84-67. I've got a cover for the Cats. I've got it hitting the over. 146 and a half seems like a really low total. So if there's one play I would say is the best, that would be the one.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's where I'm looking at. And then I'm going to say they turn around Saturday, and I think, again, Liberty's a business team right now. I think Liberty handles that probably 5 to 10 points.
I don't know. I like the way our team and the way it's constructed lines up with Liberty. Liberty, they're going to put 4 guards and a forward out there. They're not going to throw a bunch of big, long, athletic dudes out there, but they're going to have a lot of great guards out there and a lot of great guard play. And you play 3 or 4 guards, all super athletic. And I think you stylistically match up well. I don't know if we win, but I think it's going to be a very, very close game. We might have lost Cory. We will see if we get him back.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he is back.
I am back. I had one today. The computer's like, you hadn't been on in a while. Some quick things on this. Interesting little things against the spread. Some stats going on. Sam Houston, 9-2 overall against the spread so far. 3-0 as favorites. 8-2 on the road. As an underdog, they're 6-2. And over/under 8-3 has gone over. 8 of their 11 games have hit the over, and that's why I think that line is a really juicy line if you feel like putting some money.
Yeah, I mean, the offense for Sam Houston is really pushing it this year, and they like to push the tempo, push the pace quite a bit.
Yeah, most definitely. So it'll be fun. That is a wrap for this technologically despairing program, March to the Pod for one side. 2026 is starting great for the producer, ain't it? We are presented by Eternal Roofing. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. We'll see if I have Twitter. We'll have more Bearcats athletic coverage. Remember, hit us up on Substack. We got a lot more coming out soon. If you register, get the emails, it'll be sent straight to your inbox. Until we speak to you again, Ben, take us home.
Yeah, eat 'em up, Cats. Let's keep the portal commitments going and take down the Blue Hens.
Jesus, somebody's got to take down some Blue Hens.